Good afternoon. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here and to be invited to speak before such a distinguished group. So I thank you for inviting me and allowing me to talk to you. Just to give you a little bit of a background, I am an immigrant from Trinidad and Tobago. I was born there and immigrated with my family here when I was an infant. I grew up in the United States, and I grew up in the United States at a time where there was not a lot of diversity. People did not understand the culture and the traditions of Indian Americans. They didn't understand that Trinidad had a mixture of people who practiced Hinduism, Muslim, Catholic, other faiths. And so I stood out, but not necessarily for good reasons, growing up. So I struggled in this country. But thankfully, through education and through a lot of hard work, I was successful. Now, I got involved with the law, and I became an attorney because I was very interested in human rights, domestic violence, working with the vulnerable people in our community to be their voice and to make sure that someone spoke up to them and looked out for them. I also, as an immigrant with a lot of immigrant families and friends, were really concerned about the way that immigrants were treated when they went to seek rights, green card, citizenship, etc., in terms of how we were marginalized and how the reality is that other nationalities were considered more favorable and given more favorable immigration policies. In 1998, it became very, very personal for me when members of my family were attacked for their nationality and beaten and left on the street in pools of blood right in my community, and we're told Indians go home. Based on that, my family started working with the politicians to pass hate crimes legislation, which thankfully did pass in the 2000s, which made crimes that were committed with a hateful intent more punishable or more strictly punishable. So this is something that I've been working on for my entire life: female rights, human rights, and immigrant rights. So it's something I feel very strongly about. 8 years ago, I was appointed by the mayor to criminal court, and 2 years ago, I was elected to Supreme Court. And I try to continue to work with the community to make sure that inclusion and diversity matter, that we're inviting everyone to sit at the table where it is important so that we can be heard and politicians will know and give us a voice so that changes can be made to affect our community. And I constantly am going out to make sure that that message is being sent. At this time, I'm working with different organizations, continuing with my work on domestic violence, in human rights, in human trafficking. We've created, and Andrea, who you're going to hear, Judge Ogle, is going to also speak about it, I'm sure. We formed an organization, a bar association, that combines the South Asian and the Indo-Caribbean countries so that we can advocate for our own, and we can create positions, and we can create opportunities to advance in the careers, not only on the bench, but in our local communities. So that's just a little bit of the work that I do, and I am really impressed with the work that you do, and I would love to hear from you to see if there's any way that we can collaborate and work together. One of the projects that I'm working on right now is trying to work with parties who are planning Diwali at Times Square, which is going to be the second annual event. It's at the end of this month. And that's to raise awareness about our culture, our traditions, our religion, but it's also to create inclusivity in the United States, because for so long, unfortunately, we've allowed ourselves to be segregated, and it doesn't make sense, because when we work together and we come together as diverse communities, we can only be stronger. So thank you for hearing from me, and continue the good work. Thank you.